Shot or two, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Yeah, a true team win. I thought, we had contributions from a lot of people, like Paige said, across the board. 4 double-digit scores. We had, rebounds. I think everybody got a rebound that played. That's probably unheard of. Turnovers, we kept to 12. At the interior points, we knew they were, a powerful interior team. We did a good job of playing defense on the interior. We rotated a lot of people in, got some good experience, built a lead. That was one of the big things, is just getting off to a quick start and making sure we took control of the game early and didn't have to play catch up from behind. I thought they did a good job tonight. Of course, there's always more work to do, but I was appreciative that it wasn't a one-point game coming down the stretch, because this jacket's a little heavy and I would have sweated through it. So
going off of that, how nice is it just to get to play, players that may not have played much at the end of the game, compared to just completely sweating it out.
Yeah, I mean, eventually somebody's going to have to step into a role that they haven't played all year and be prepared. And it's times like these where they get their feet wet and find a rhythm and see what they can do. MAC conferences, there's going to be tough games all the way through. So, from start to finish, even at the end of the game, we suffered a little bit of turnovers through their press, but I thought that, we kind of composed ourselves and finished the game off.
I mean, once again, Paige Kohler, she's had a big role all season as a starter, but have you seen anything different these last few games with Lexi out compared to maybe the start of the year? Is she maybe more vocal, more of a leadership kind of? What have you maybe seen from her the last few games? Yeah,
the last few games, the thing that really sticks out to me is she's been composed. She hasn't been frantic. She hasn't had the freshman jitters. She's been pretty level-headed. Is she going to make mistakes? Yeah, but the way that she handles that and her composure throughout is the thing that I see the most. Also, she hasn't been reluctant to shoot the ball, and it didn't go in for her all the time. But the fact that she's shooting it, and we're not having to tell her to shoot it, and she's seeing those opportunities, is growth as well.
And, how nice. With such a big game on Saturday, to play a bunch of players, get a lot of minutes for the bench players, not only to give them experience, but, save your starters as well, who may have been playing, 35, 37 minutes the last few games.
Yeah, I didn't do a very good job of that with Amy, but, I think getting them rest is important, because they do practice hard every single day. I mean, we practice hard. We don't take it easy. We don't go through the motions typically. This week we had some tremendous practices. Our shoot-around wasn't great, but I thought we got our message across as a staff that we needed a quick start, and they performed. Just moving into our next game, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be in a hostile environment versus a really good team, and we're going to have to play well. It's just, there's no doubt about it. This is a quality team. They're one of the top 3 in the conference, and we're going to have to bring our A game, and that's from top to bottom throughout our lineup.
Yeah, obviously, this is going to be the first time, for you facing Ball State. I mean, the games between these two teams last year was just both games so intense, so highly competitive. I'm sure that's what you're expecting on Saturday is just going to be, all-out effort from both teams and everything.
Yeah, I mean, we're a totally different team than we were last year. We look different. We approach it differently. So, we're going to have to figure out who we are against a team like that. I think our identity the last few games, I think we've been playing some pretty good defense. I think we've had some interior play that's been really good to complement our guard play. And we're going to have to bring that. I think, rebounding is going to be important. But, the way they pressure the basketball, we're going to have to take care of it. We're going to have to keep our possessions, and we're going to have to get shots down on the other end. That's got to be a main focus for us. And I think they're going to come through. I think, they've performed in many adverse situations up to this point, and I have no doubt that they'll perform in that one.
obviously there's the emotional factor of going up against a former teammate on Saturday as well. How do you maybe talk to the players, especially those who played with her the last few years? Is there any advice or anything that you say going up against former teammates?
We prepare for her as though we don't know her. We know her as a really good player. She's a really good player, and she does some really good things for them, and that's what we have to prepare for. There's no emotional tie from me, especially, but I think they'll have a little edge with it. I think anytime somebody leaves the nest and goes someplace else and transfers, I think there's a little bit of I don't want to say animosity, but there's it's always a challenge. It's something that you want to perform well for, and I think they'll step up to that challenge. But for us as a staff and as a team as a whole, we just prepare for a really good basketball player.
The 3 games against the ranked teams, how is maybe playing those games helping you guys out early on in MAC play, and how big will that be, going at Ball State, obviously a tough environment, where you guys have played a couple road environments like in Indiana and Iowa?
Yeah, I think when you're in those situations, there's always growth. There's people screaming at you and yelling at you, and it's a packed house and emotionally charged, and you always learn something. We learn something from every situation, even an empty gym, how to generate our own energy. But we're going to go in there and we're going to perform, and we're going to try to make sure that it's a competitive game. Those games that we played prior, those are learning experiences. South Carolina's the #1 team in the country. I'm quite sure, no disrespect, but, that's not Ball State. So, it's 2 totally different teams. So we'll have to prepare for Ball State like they're Ball State, not like they're South Carolina.